Shalom, everyone. All praise, honor, and glory to our King, our Father, our Provider, our Creator, our Sustainer, our Redeemer, our Savior. Ahayah, Ahayah, Creator of heaven and earth. So today, I just wanted to talk about the process, the way, right? How do we renew our minds in 2025? So in order to renew your mind, there is a process from what I see. It's justification, sanctification, and glorification. That's what Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob represented with their lives, right? So justification. Justification is being acquitted of all guilt, right? But Yah, if you remember, in Genesis 15:6, and it says, and he believed in the Lord, and that he counted it to him for righteousness. So through Abraham's faith, his belief, his faith was equated with righteousness, which is justification. Right? So that's the first step of the process. And then we can go a little bit further with that. And Micah 7:19 and 7:20, because justification is acquitted of all guilt, right? And this reads, he will turn again, he will have compassion on us, he will subdue our iniquities, and thou will cast their sins into the depths of the sea. Thou will perform the truth to Jacob, right? That's the nation of Israel. And mercy to Abraham. I believe that represents the Gentiles that believe, that have faith on Yah. Not the Jesus Christ of the Bible and the way they teach it in church, but on Yah, on the words on the page that live out the Bible, right? The people that know the truth, live the truth, right? That's why it says they can raise up Abraham's seeds from these other stones. It was a clue. It was telling us, right? All right, continuing. So in order to be justified, we first must be washed from sins. In Exodus 29, it tells us how the first high priest, Aaron, our example, was consecrated, set apart from sin for holy use, and anointed. The process for being washed from sin is this. First, you must hear the truth, and then after hearing, you must do the work. And then after you get to work by making changes in your daily life, you have to live it out. You have to live out the law, then continue to walk it out with your actions, right? Your actions speak louder than words. That's what Yah is looking at. You can know the Bible front to back, have it memorized verse by verse, line upon line. But if you're not living it out each day that you learn something, you're doing something and making the right choice, then you're not doing what he asked you to do. This is what it means to walk with Ahayah, just like Enoch did, until the old you is no more. Just like Aaron, we must be humble in front of our brethren. Because remember, how would you feel if you're being washed? Because Aaron was pretty much naked. He was stripped down to his boxers, his linen girdle, being washed in front of the whole congregation. Imagine how he must have felt in that moment. Everybody's looking at him, while he's getting a bath from two other men. It's humbling, if you could imagine. Continuing, in Exodus 29:2, this is a foreshadow of Yahushua, walking it out with all of his heart and mind and strength. This is what it means to cleave to Yah, as it says in Deuteronomy 6:5. We must learn to live in truth in this world of illusions. Our actions, intent, and heart speak louder than words. As I said, we must learn to live the life Yahushua led with his example. We have to be meek, cleave to Yah, show kindness to your neighbors, leave the world behind. We have to reject this world of instant gratification. Our forefathers didn't. That was the sin of the golden calf. Our ancestors wanted to do their own will and not wait for Moses like they were supposed to. They just couldn't wait or trust the process. Our intent and actions are what's important to Yah. To walk in truth, you must first recognize the lie. And the only way to recognize a lie is to know what's true, which is the word of Yah, the Torah. Torah means law, but in Psalms 119, verse 142, it says, thy law is the truth, right? We have to learn to do what's good and be washed. Isaiah 1:16 tells us this. John 17:17 tells us how to be washed, and it says, sanctify them, wash them by the truth. Remember, sanctify means to be washed from sin. Yahushua's words are spirit, but he spoke the truth. So when he says, worship Yah in spirit and in truth, we must seek to understand the essence behind the words because they are spiritual and they need spiritual eyes to be discerned. Understanding only comes from doing. That's just the way it's set up. The Israelites are made to learn through experience, through doing, right? Through obedience. When we have faith in Yahushua, we are saying we believe in his words and do them. Matthew 7:24. Our wisdom comes from doing them. Matthew 7:25. His words tell us to love Yah and one another. Faith in Yahushua is not going up to the altar in church on a Sunday, saying a couple words and then doing the exact opposite of what the book says. You must be a doer of the word. It has to live in you, and you have to live by it. The only way this occurs is through dedication, prayer, fasting, weeping, and that's in Joel 2:12. These are your actions, rending our hearts and not our garments. That's Joel 2:13. Remember, when Yasharel was in mourning, they used to tear their garments. They used to tear their clothes, but that was symbolic, right? But if they would have just came to Yah with a contrite heart and a broken spirit, they would have kept their clothes. Psalm 51:17 talks about the broken heart and contrite spirit. So the judgment that I see that's upon this world right now is about obedience to the law, right? They want you to have faith in Jesus and nothing else, and that's incorrect because, again, if you go back to my last couple minutes, faith in Yahushua is doing the work. So the judgment that I see, these cell phone towers are up there. We're eating horribly. When frequencies interact with sugar that we all eat on a daily basis, 3 times a day, sometimes more if we don't have self-control. But when those vibrations and frequencies interact with the stuff that's in your body, you know, it's going to rend your garments. Another word for garment is clothing, skin, covering, right? We are not the body. We are the spirit inside the body. But it's all symbolic. That's why, you know, I believe a lot of people don't catch it unless you're actually doing the work and those light bulbs are going off and he's giving you revelation. All praise, honor, and glory to Ahayah. Continuing. Well, how do we cleave to Yah? We keep his commandments. 1 John 5:3. And what are Yah's commandments? We have to renew our minds so that we can feel, know, and understand the essence behind the words. To renew your mind, you must first deny this world and all that it offers. Then turn to Ahayah through prayer, fasting, and weeping with your whole heart and understand or try to understand or pray for understanding of what is being said in the Old Testament first. And you have to do that part in context. And that's so huge. When the pastors tell you to read things in context, I don't even know if they know what they're saying to you. When I'm telling you to read things in context, you have to put your mind, your spirit into the mind of an Israelite as they were living in the land. You have to remember, these people were gifted everything from Yah, right? They had a covenant, they had land, they had protection, they had blessings. So, they did live on the mountains of Nevada and Utah. So in an agricultural community, familial kind of society. So you have to really understand what they were thinking as they were making the decisions they were making on a daily basis to really understand the word in the way that it needs to be understood correctly. You have to understand the mindsets that our ancestors had, right? And to really bring these stories to life. That's why the pastors tell us to read the New Testament first and sit at Jesus' feet, quote unquote, because you'll never understand the spirit of the words if you don't know the truth of them first. They are the ones that are gatekeeping you, holding the key to knowledge because they know how it works, right? They all go to seminary. And I get it. Some of them don't know any better. Some of them are just, they've been tricked too. But there's a lot of people that do, and they stay silent because the money's too good. Continuing, because Yah is a spirit, we must worship him in spirit, which are the words of Yahushua, and in truth, which is the Torah, John 4:24. King Solomon says, the whole duty of man is to fear Yah and keep his commandments. Love Yah through your dedication to Torah, which is the truth, and living out his commandments, just like Yahushua, right? There is no shortcut to truth. This is the process. This is the way. All right? So continuing with the sanctification process and being washed from sin, you have to be a willing participant because it is your own choices that let sin into your life. And again, to separate yourself from sin, you first must know what it is by reading Torah. You have to have a baseline, right? Torah is everybody's baseline for truth. It's the standard. This is your growth phase. So after you've recognized the lie by having truth as your foundation, you must put forth the effort to grow. And this is the struggle with Yah, right? Which is where the word Yisrael comes from. Strong's Concordance number 3478. It's struggle with Yah. This is where you see where you are made of. And if you remember, that's when Jacob sent his family over the river, and it was just he was left alone with the angel, and he struggled with Yah all night. And it probably wasn't really Yah. It was probably the angel of Yah that had his name inside of him, but that didn't want to give him his name. But that was the symbolic representation of struggling with Yah. You struggle with men and angels and you prevail. You are going to have to separate yourself from a lifetime of bad choices. So all the alcohol, the smoking, the P word, the gluttony, all these bad things that they just kind of creep up on us over time, and you make bad choice, then another following bad choice, and then peer pressure leads you to another bad choice. We have to remember, our body is the temple of the Most High Yah. But he's not going to come and rest in a temple that isn't maintained correctly, which is part of the reason for the dietary laws and such, right? The symbolism of Jacob fighting with the angel symbolizes this part of the struggle. It is a progressive work. Nothing happens overnight. When reading the Torah, we must adjust our habits and behaviors to line up with the commandments and examples listed in the Word. We decide how long we are in this phase through our full submission. It's all up to us. It can be as short as 11 days, metaphorically, symbolically, or 40 years. Because if you remember, the Israelites only had an 11-day walk. But then they started to, as Yah's bringing them out of the Egypt, they started to complain. They started to murmur against Moses, murmur against Yah, fight with one another. So from that 11-day journey, it got extended to 40 years. It doesn't have to be that painful. But if you aren't dedicated, or you're a murmurer, or you're secretly lusting for your past life in your heart to return, or, it's going to take as long as it takes. It's up to us to recognize by comparing the word to our lives and changing and growing from there. It requires your constant, active participation. Every single moment of every single day needs to be filtered through Torah. There are subtle lies all around us. Things may seem okay on the surface, but the way this world is set up, it's set up to break the commandments of Yah. And you would never know because most people don't spend the necessary time in Torah. Once you are sanctified, washed from sin and the filth of this world, then you continue to cleave to Yah. And you faithfully wait for the glorification to come at the appointed time at the end of days. So don't let Jesus be an idol because he doesn't receive honor from men. That's John 5:41. The words on the page are true, just misunderstood. Those red words in the New Testament, those are true. Those are spirit-filled words. But they are misunderstood through bad teaching, bad theology, bad all that. It's incorrect, right? It was never meant for them. Continuing. The powers that be, they need us ignorant, the Israelites, so that we stay blind. They need us filthy inside by giving us bad food 3 times a day to crush our spirit so we can't bring out this truth for the rest of the world. Yah wanted a nation of ministers and priests, right? And he's building that nation right now. And the enemy knows what's up. They see it coming. So that's what all the hoo-ha is about in the media. We are waking up. We're speaking truth. Some people are starting to realize the words are true that we're saying. We're just trying to help. We are all just trying to help. From the bottom of my heart, we're trying to help everyone. I don't have a racist bone in my body. You know, I have multi-ethnic children. We just all been tricked, and we got to straighten things out now and prepare ourselves, prepare our bodies for Yah. All right, we were all born into this. We can't feel bad about any of this, but now that we're awake and we're waking up and the crust is coming off of our eyes, now that you know, there's a choice to be made. It's red pill, blue pill time. Finally, glorification is receiving Ahayah into you. This is dedicating your every action to him. When you live for Yah in this dark world, he takes notice, you know, because it's a hard choice. One, you got to realize you're being fooled. And then two, you have to have the willpower or ask for the willpower to be gifted to you to overcome each and every choice, right? But it has to be you. You have to be a willing participant in this. When you can do this, you have start to become able to overcome the world. When you can put down the things of this world and choose Yah over the movie theater, over your girlfriend, your boyfriend, your husband, your wife, over bad food that you lusted after, over alcohol, and you just choose him, right? And it's not easy. Don't get me wrong. It's not easy at all. We all got caught up. We all kind of let bad habits and bad spirits and bad things into our life. But again, once you realize, you have to start correcting yourself. You have to filter your entire, all of your emotion through the Torah and then the words of Yahushua. It's tough, but that's why we cleave to Yah. It's when the presence of Yah rests on you in this world, just like Yahushua and Moses, that the glory of Yah is given to you. And again, this hasn't happened yet. The glory of Yah is outlined in Ezekiel 1:27-28. But Yahushua and Moses, they were gifted the glory of Yah. They did everything he said, Each, with the exception of Moses, he messed up at the waters of Meribah, but he still had the glory of Yah. That was the radiance. Each of the sons of Yisrael can do this too. It is your choice and your birthright. This is what the powers that be don't want you to know. The sons of Yisrael can become sons of Yah by adhering to his Torah in the image of his son. Don't let these pastors trick you out of your crown by telling you to believe in Jesus and that's it. That is not what the Bible teaches. Yahushua is not a free pass to Yah. You must do the work, step by step, one day at a time, one choice at a time. All praise, honor, and glory to our Creator, Ahayah, Asher, Ahayah. Salah.